Real quickly, for anyone who's new to this whole add-ons thing in Blender, I'm going to show you how to install it. So to do that, you want to go to Edit, Preferences, select the Add-ons tab, click this Install button, and I have the add-on, which is a zip file downloaded from blendersensei.com, where the Power Select add-on is available. And we'll click that, press Install Add-on, and the add-on is now installed. All we have to do is activate it by clicking that box, and we're good to go. What is Power Select and why was it created? Well, my original goal was to create a selection method, and as you can see, when we click and hold on the default select button here in Blender, we now have a new option, Power Select. I wanted to create a selection method that handled most, if not all, of my selection needs. So as one does, I started out designing the add-on while in object mode, and there were a few things I wanted when it comes to selecting in object mode. The first thing I wanted to be able to do was click and drag an object, as you can do with the default tweak option there. But if I wasn't clicking on an object, then I wanted a box selection to happen automatically. So that's one of the first features of Power Select. The next thing I really wanted to happen was I wanted to be able to quickly perform a box selection and then click on one of the items that I just selected and move all of them. So this was actually a huge revelation when I was able to do this, because this was actually kind of difficult to get coded. But once I had this working, I could quickly drag my mouse without pressing any additional hotkeys. I'm just pressing one button and then click on one of those objects and move them. And then I could go back to selecting something else and adjusting or moving it. And that was a really great feeling to be able to perform all of those actions with just my left mouse button, nothing else. Okay, so you'll notice over here that the Power Select icon is actually just the select box icon. Ideally, I would like to have a slightly varied icon, or at least maybe a slight change in color, but that's actually doesn't appear to be possible in this current version of Blender. Now, making custom icons, loading in custom icons as PNG files for like these smaller icons is very easy and very doable. However, these tool shelf icons use .dat file icons, are similar to SVGs, and creating them is actually pretty well documented. And let me just stop right now and apologize for getting into the coding weeds. I just wanted to explain why this icon isn't slightly different, because I know it's a little confusing. It's apparently not something that you can do, or if you can, it requires extreme hackery. It may just be some obscure thing that I haven't figured out how to do, in which case, apologies. But for now, you can easily determine if Power Select is active by the different tool options that you can see in the 3D view header. Of course, you could drag this open and you could see that Power Select was active, or you could click on the tool tab in the properties panel, and this will of course show you whatever tool happens to be active at the time here, and you can also see that information here as well. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and close this stuff because we don't really need any of this to be able to tell what's active. All we really need is to be able to look up in the header and see that here are the default active tool options for these Blender default selection methods, and we know we've got this custom situation up here for Power Select. And you'll definitely need to pay attention to this when you first install the add-on. Reason being is that Blender actually has a bunch of different type of internal edit modes for different types of objects. So you may be thinking to yourself, what are you talking about? There's only one edit mode. I press tab and then I go into edit mode. And that's kind of true, but internally Blender has different types of edit modes for different types of objects. So this curve object here, if I were to press tab and go into edit mode, this is actually registered as a different mode inside of Blender. And Blender will actually let you set custom selection methods for the different type of edit modes based on the different object types. I know that's incredibly convoluted, but the reason I'm telling you this is that for each of these different object type edit modes, like say you had a bone selected or a mesh or a curve or something, you'll need to switch this to Power Select when you first install the add-on. Should only have to do this once because you can choose which modes you want power select active and which modes you want, say just, I don't know, select lasso or something. But once you have all these selection methods figured out, you can delete all of these random objects you don't want, and you can go to File, Default, Save Startup File here. And then the next time you open up Blender, power select will be active for every mode you're in, no matter what kind of object you have selected, where you want it. I just want to reiterate that this is not a bug with the power select add-on. Really what this is it's the add-on exposing something in Blender that seems not a hassle, because every one of these different object type edit modes has select box as the default active tool. So when you go to edit different object types, because the default setting is on this select box mode, it appears like, oh, everything's consistent and fine, which it is technically, and ultimately it's a good thing. It's a good thing to be able to granularly be able to always have a specific type of selection method when you're dealing with different kinds of objects. That's not a bad thing. It's just kind of a nuisance when you're setting up this add-on, which hopefully I haven't scared you away from, because I think it can really make your life awesome in Blender. So speaking of edit modes, a really awesome feature in Power Select is that you can double click on objects to enter edit mode. So as you can see earlier there, we set this to circle select, but we'll just switch it back to power select. Once power select has been chosen for that edit mode, you can double click off of an object to return to object mode. So this allows you extremely quick navigation in and out of edit mode. Let's go ahead and under mesh, add a monkey here, duplicate that a few times just so we have some more items to play around with. So as you can see, I can quickly click on objects, box select, move them over here, grab this one, double click, enter edit mode, and double click off of any object to get back into object mode, and we are rolling. So power select has some really awesome features while you're in edit mode as well. So I'll just go ahead and double click on this monkey head closest to me here. And the first feature I want to talk about is the transparency select. So normally if I wanted to, say, select this left side of Suzanne's head, I would need to first enter wireframe mode. But with power select, just like in object mode, if we're not clicking on an object, we will begin a box selection. So I can hold Alt, begin clicking, and this sets my object temporarily to be transparent. And then I can perform that selection, and I've got this whole half of this Suzanne head selected here. And I could say delete that, press X, delete faces, and what have you. So much in the same way, you can select something and then shift select to add something else. You can do the same thing while holding Alt. So we could say hold Alt to do a transparency selection here, and then we could add to that, hold Alt again, but this time with shift held, and we could do a transparency selection that way as well. So that's an extremely useful feature. So let's talk real quick about these options in the active tool menu of power select here. So this button to the left, this just displays the add-on preferences, and then next to that, you have this tweak button. By default, power select will perform a box selection just so long as you're not clicking on something. And if tweak is not active, you will drag select over that object. However, if we were to switch this to tweak, this would then tweak items instead. What's really cool about this in edit mode is there's actually now new in version 1.2 of power select. There's actually individual settings for each mesh selection type. So if I switch to edge selection, I could set this to tweak, and say vertex selection, I could set it to tweak, but say I always wanted to drag select when selecting faces, we could disable it there and only drag select. And then when we switch to one of these modes, we can have this change to automatically, so we don't have to then adjust our selection method. You can set the default circle radius now in version 1.2 to whatever you want. You can make it really small. That makes it difficult when you are selecting vertex points, or you could make the default size much bigger. Of course, when you actually begin selecting as well, you've got that default size, but you can scroll your mouse wheel up and down to change the size of that, just like you normally can with circle select. Another really sweet feature we have when face selection is active, we can double click on any piece of mesh and automatically select similarly angled items. This is much better demonstrated on some flat surfaces or when you're dealing with hard surface modeling. So I'll double click away to get back into object mode, then double click on this cube to edit it. I'll tap A to select everything, right click, hit subdivide a few times. For instance, if I were to double click on any side of here, I can instantly select all of these similarly angled faces. Of course, if I were to select this face here and move it out just a tiny bit, if I double click everything, it will still select it, but if we move it too far away, then it's not going to include that in the selection or only that area there. That's also extremely useful. So in addition to having these awesome individual tweak modes that we can set per mesh selection type, we can also do this per object type as well. So if I were to press Shift A and add a curve and we'll scale this up, and then I can just double click it to edit it. And as you can see here, we are in the default select box. So let's go ahead and switch that to power select. Once again, the constant having to change of these modes should be something you only have to do the first time that you install the add-on. So same deal here. With power select, we will box select whenever we're not clicking on an object. And when we do click on an object, such as one of these handles or this points, we can automatically tweak it. Of course, if we wanted to disable that for some reason, we could do that, and then we would be drag selecting. If we were to say, press A to select everything and subdivide this a few times, this may be a bit more useful in a situation where you've got, a lot of points. Maybe you would want to disable tweak, but typically it's nice to be able to have this on. But either way, you'll still be able to automatically box select whenever you are not clicking on an item and tweak it when you are. Similarly, if we were to add an armature, could double click to edit that, E to extrude. Can easily adjust our bones as well as in pose mode, select a bunch of things, and what have you. Power select has some special features enabled for UV edit mode as well. So I'm going to split this screen and I'll double click on the Suzanne head to edit it, and we'll switch this to a UV editor. And I'm going to go ahead and click this button here, which will keep all the faces in the UV map visible whenever I click off of something. If this wasn't visible, then this would only show whatever's selected. So if we open up the tools here, so of course, once again, by default, this is going to be set to select box by default. Once again, it confusingly looks like it's not because this menu highlight starts at the bottom here. However, if we were to click this open and click on tool, you can see that indeed select box is actually active. Or if we were to just open this up here, you can see it's the default select box. But if we switch it to power select, and we don't really need that anymore. Similarly to how we can double click on sections of mesh that are similarly angled here, we can double click on an island, UV island, to automatically select everything within that island. So this is a very useful feature. And it's basically the same deal here. When you're clicking on something, you'll automatically begin to drag select. When you're not clicking on something, you'll automatically perform a box selection. Of course, we can double click things and select entire islands, and life is good. Okay, let's go over a few of the options here. I'll double click to get out of edit mode. So the first thing we have here is toggle edit mode. So if for some reason you don't want double clicking things to switch to edit mode, you can disable that. Then we have auto enable cage edit, which what this will do is it will automatically enable wireframe wrapping of the modifier effects. So to show you what I mean, you can double click to get back into object mode, click on this cube, and let's add a subsurface modifier here. By default, if I were to say press tab to enter edit mode on this cube, Notice that the wireframe is not wrapping around the actual mesh. This is an option here for cage editing on modifiers, which you can activate. But what this option will do, which is active by default, is whenever you double click to edit something, it will automatically enable that. So whenever you are clicking on an object that you added modifiers to, the mesh will always be wrapped around it. So for example, we'll add a new cube. This one here. We'll add a subdivision surface. And let's go ahead and shade smooth. And notice that's not active there, but when we double click here, it's automatically set up how we like, or how I like anyway. You can disable this option if that's not your jam, but it's really nice for me to always have cage editing on whenever I go to edit something. Then we can just pop right back out of edit mode and we're good to go. So just a few other things to be aware of here. I think a lot actually goes on with redrawing this properties panel. And I'm not sure if this is just my graphics card or just my build of my computer or whatever, but if I'm clicking on some mesh objects with power select active, I can click on them, but if I click onto a different object type and then start dragging away, I have to click on the object again to begin moving it, which is not that big a deal. And then it sort of waits till I click on a different object type to start having that problem again. So once I've clicked and activated that object type, then clicking and moving on it is fine. But if I click and go to drag and I move too fast when clicking on a different object type, then it's like does this stutter. But I've noticed that if I shut the side of this panel down where Blender no longer has to redraw these tabs, it doesn't have that issue. So I'm guessing this is some kind of internal situation with the depth graph within Blender, because notice when this is closed, I can click this and then click on a different object type and move it automatically. And normally, even when this is open, that's not something that I even notice or care about, or if it stutters slightly and doesn't drag the first time, I can just immediately click it and then click, drag it, whatever. It's no big deal. But I've noticed that is a weird issue with, I guess, the depth graph and the redrawing, because it has to redraw all these different things, probably has to load in a bunch of different stuff, and then causes this to stutter a bit, or at least it does on my machine. Just want to make you aware of that. And the last thing I want to make you aware of is that if you navigate Blender using Alt, like with Houdini or various other applications, then this might not be the add-on for you, as currently there aren't really any considerations in the add-on for handling that. Making that consideration in this add-on would require restructuring a lot of things that I don't want to, and add a lot of overhead to future development of other items. If Alt navigation is your jam, then this add-on isn't. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.